Hello again. We had another day of near average temperatures across West Texas. At the moment, here in the Concho Valley, temperatures are still in those mid 70s, 76 right now in San Angelo, 74 over in Paint Rock, 76 down in Sonora as well. Up in the big country, they have more areas of the lower 70s, lower to mid 70s. Up in Abilene, 72 at the moment, 75 in Roby and Sweetwater. Now tonight, due to some light and variable winds and clear skies, we're going to see overnight lows dip into the mid to upper 30s, with some of the warmer spots being in the lower 40s. A few places in those mid 30s. Paint Rock getting down to 36 tonight. Brownwood 36 as well. Menard Junction 37. 39 is going to be the low here in San Angelo. Abilene a little warmer with a low of 43. Sweetwater going to be one of those warmer spots tonight with a low of 43 degrees. Now over the next couple of days, we're going to see highs in those lower to mid 80s for tomorrow and Thursday before that cold front comes Thursday evening, where Friday will be our coolest day of the work week with highs topping out in the upper 60s, but we'll quickly rebound by weekend with highs back into the upper 70s. Now, the big thing to pay attention to over the next 2 days, we are going to be faced with those elevated fire weather conditions. And here's a broader look at who all is going to be impacted by these elevated fire weather conditions for tomorrow. As you can see, the western 3/4 of our viewing area is going to be pretty much be impacted, as well as the southern plains, far western Texas, and southeastern New Mexico. And this is due, as we mentioned before, those breezy winds and low relative humidity. So let's take a look at how breezy and how dry it's going to be over the next couple of days. This is starting out the day on tomorrow. Winds are still on the lighter side. That's why I mentioned that it's going to get pretty cool tonight, because winds are going to start out on the lighter side. But just after lunchtime, that's when we'll see those peak winds, 16 miles per hour here in San Angelo, 17 miles per hour up in Abilene. As we look to overnight hours, things will calm down just a little bit in San Angelo with 9 miles per hour winds. Abilene still staying on the breezier side with 15 mile per hour winds overnight. By Thursday morning, kicking out the day, things are already starting out on the breezy side. 14 miles per hour just before sunset here in San Angelo, 18 up in Abilene, and then we'll see those peak winds by afternoon on Thursday. 25 mile per hour wind speeds, 24 up in Abilene. And then with those relative humidity values, things are going to be on the dry side tomorrow in the Concho Valley. Relative humidity values down into the teens. In a big country, we're seeing more single digits as well, 10% relative humidity in both San Angelo and Abilene. And then for Thursday, things get even drier with more of those single digit relative humidity values, 8% relative humidity in both San Angelo and Abilene. Another dry spot to point out, Sonora, with only 6% relative humidity. So we're definitely going to see that possibility of a fire weather watch being issued for Thursday. It hasn't yet, but it's not to be ruled out, with things being so much drier and a lot more breezier going into Thursday compared to tomorrow. But thankfully, once that cold front passes on Thursday night going into Friday, we'll have that cooler day on Friday before things pick back up going into the weekend. Highs in the upper 70s by weekend. Another day of breezy winds on Sunday. That'll be another day of elevated fire weather conditions before we go into our start of next week, with some isolated rain chances here in the Concho Valley. But up in the big country, they'll have more widespread rain chances starting out next week. And by this time next week, they'll have highs in the lower 60s. Back to you.